Gem of a Secret podcast. My name's Donatella, my secrets.
And my name is Coco Gem Holiday.
How you doing tonight, Coco?
Fat. Fat is how I'm doing.
Fat?
Yeah, fat. God, I just like, so I'm trying to food journal because, you know, it does help.
It does.
But like, so I was like doing it right now. I was taking a shit.
Oh, great.
And I was like, oh, I've eaten 3,000 calories today. That's fun. God, I didn't even feel like that. It just gets away from you.
Our listeners probably don't want to know about our BMs, but speaking of BMs, I came across this TikToker that's like a butt doctor, and she talks about like healthy poops and stuff. And I think that that's an important thing to have in your life.
I don't even know how you got into that. Like, I don't even know what TikTok that would be a part of. Like, your For You page is butt stuff, I guess. Maybe.
Do you know how many times a day is healthy?
How many times?
1 to 3.
Oh, okay. I mean, I poop twice a day.
Twice? Okay.
Twice a day.
See, that's healthy.
Well, it's also because apparently I've been eating 3,000 calories. My body's like, get it out of me, you're going to pop. Our listeners are like, oh my goodness,
they're
what
like,
is happening? Oh, Donna, what are you wearing this evening?
I'm actually just dressed as the poo emoji.
That's what I was dressed as. So like a month ago.
Well, we're twins.
I'm just wearing a nice, beautiful robe. I do have my breast form on just because I want to feel fancy. With
nice.
Some pasties, but I don't know how to make pasties, so it's just black tape. And then my hair is in an updo, but not one that's well styled.
Oh, cute. Question mark.
Comma. It's like, I don't even know.
Choices.
God, it's so stupid. So current events as the release of this episode from when we're famous and people want to know like what was going on back in 2021 for us. Governor Kate Brown has now required masks.
Yes, again.
Required masks again, which is fine. That's fine. But now they're required in outdoor spaces as well. Last week it was indoor spaces only, where they were required. Now the mandate is for public spaces as well, if you can't socially distance. They have not gone back to closing places down or having it to where
capacities
are less, which is super good for me as I work in the bar management.
Are they still open as late as they
are?
All
the late times are still relaxed and everything, which is good for me working in a bar. So I know people feel like it's coming though. Oh, I did read today. I don't know if you saw this. Douglas County, I believe that's what it's called. I think it's Douglas County. In Oregon, the sheriff has decided not to enforce the masks. He pretty much wrote a letter that was like, he's like, so Governor Kate Brown said that you have to wear masks, but I believe that you can figure it out yourselves. So, I'm not going to enforce that. You can do whatever you want. Basically, they were saying, like, it's your choice to wear it, it's your choice not to. I don't believe the government should be telling you to wear a mask or not.
There is a lot of rhetoric around it. And here's the thing. We have this whole, like, American independence ideology here in this country. And that's the reason why the pandemic got as bad as it did in our country. Is because we have that ideology. The thing is, if people if people followed the rules and really, like, did what was responsible for one another, this could have been a lot better for us.
Absolutely.
And it's just frustrating that people are still making this political.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. And what's even more disappointing is if you go to a different country, they don't have all of the safety signs that we do in the United States. We have them for two reasons, for safety and then also because people will sue. Like, it's a little ridiculous that we as a country believe in our freedom of speech and our rights so much so that we don't care about community betterment. Yeah. Like, and that's what I feel about it. I feel like we know that masks work. It has been proven.
It's American individualism at its best.
And like, so choosing to not wear a mask, because I did send this to Donna, where, like we said before, we're from Grand Junction, Colorado, and I used to work near an part of a group that was part of an assisted living facility, and there was anti-vax protesters in front of the building, and I was just so baffled because like we all know the huge scare was like with COVID when it started was about in senior living communities because they couldn't like get away from each other in those communities, and that was really heartbreaking. And so seeing that was just like really scary. And I do believe in free speech, obviously, and freedom of choice. What the sheriff was saying is like, I don't believe the government should be involved in taking away our choice. And as much as you can appreciate that sentiment, what that's also saying, and they also have their county actually has they're in critical condition actually because they have the National Guard was just called in to help with COVID.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, like, you're like, I believe in freedom of choice. I mean, my people are dying, literally.
Yeah.
But I believe in freedom.
This is only making it worse, but...
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, it's people have a problem with, like, assisted suicide.
Yeah.
But then will federally not want, like, people to wear a mask. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It just feels really uncomfortable.
People really won't take it seriously unless it's at their door, unless someone they know is personally affected by it. Then that's when their ideas tend to change, and it sucks that that's what it takes. But
there was a person, I'll say it this way, they don't listen to the podcast, but I will keep their privacy. A person a year ago told me that they thought COVID was a hoax. And then even asked me if I knew anybody who had even gotten it, and I was like, yeah, I have. And he's like, really? He's like, I don't know anybody. And now over the last like couple of months, he's had the worst of it in his family, like direct family, and it's been really heartbreaking to see. I never was one of those people that wished COVID on the naysayers.
Yeah.
Like, I think that that's horrific and you shouldn't do that. And morally and ethically, it just feels wrong. But it was like, when I saw it happening, I was like, I almost started, I guess I haven't said this out loud before. I felt guilty for not pushing it more. I felt guilty for not being like, I think that you should get the vaccine. I think you should wear a mask. I didn't push it because I believed in, people's freedom of choice.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, okay, I mean, I'm going to wear a mask, but that becomes selfish in myself. And then now they're in these horrible circumstances. And I know it's like that thing you can only do so much, but still.
Yeah, it really is.
It's just sad.
It is.
Yeah.
Also, Pfizer's FDA approved.
Pfizer is FDA approved, which is super exciting.
Yeah, I have that Pfizer juice.
Was I a Pfizer? I was a Pfizer, yeah.
Were you Pfizer?
Yeah, I was Pfizer. Cool. I think Adam was Moderna.
They are seeing that Moderna may be more effective now. There are some studies showing that Moderna may be more effective than Pfizer, but...
And I know that there are some caveats in what the FDA said about Pfizer, but I need to do my own research before I bring it up on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because, we are scientifically accurate on this podcast.
Yeah,
100%
super.
Of the time, we are scientists. We're
Yeah.
doctors.
I'm learning to be a scientist of sorts, a brain scientist of sorts, but...
Yeah, because you're back in school.
I am, yeah.
Let's lighten the mood a little bit.
I've gotten A's on all my assignments so
Cool.
far, and I just turned in my first research paper, so that was fun to do after not doing it since 2014.
I don't know how I could even go back into school right now, even if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I'm learning a lot. Yeah, I'm 7 weeks into my first course, and my course is 10 weeks long, so...
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm still doing the same old event management. I am taking my drag break in September.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. I'm going to do as much of nothing as possible and gain all the available weight that's left in my body to gain. So that'll be fun. God, I need to stop getting weight. Nothing fits anymore.
Work.
Literally, work, move, do something. Yeah, but no, and then my work is going really good, and so things have been really on the uptick for me.
Good.
Recently.
Good. Well, we have a very interesting interviewee tonight, and I think we shouldn't keep them waiting.
Yeah, we shouldn't either. So, Donna, let me get to it and ask you, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, Coco, I will let you know after this brief commercial break. Dun dun drag race. Oh, we don't want to get sued for copyright, but you know what? I'm really in the mood to watch some Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, there is a beautiful place to watch Drag Race every week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, at Local Lounge at 6 o'clock p.m. every Thursday, you can get a first look at Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, and currently we're on All Stars Season 6?
Yeah, All Star Season 6 is premiering right now, and we have performances that happen throughout the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. You can buy drinks, hang out with your friends, and just get to experience some buffoonery happening at the bar.
Some buffoonery. Not even buffoonery. It's your own made-up word.
I know, just like a queen from Drag Race.
Yes, catchphrase. What happens after Drag Race?
After Drag Race, it goes straight into drag queen karaoke.
Yes.
So you can sing with your friends, get some cocktails, and party all night long. I guess we'll see you there.
Yep, see ya there.
It's a podcast with Coco and Donatella podcast. Tune into What They Tell You podcast with Coco and Donatella podcast.
You know, Coco, I am feeling very warm. Like I just got myself a nice mug of a chocolatey beverage that's warm.
In your poop costume?
No.
No.
Because the guest that we have is you.
Oh, it's me.
It's you.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
You come around here often?
No, this is my first time on your show. First time, long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is so exciting. It's so nice to meet you.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you too. So yeah, we started drag around the same time together, 8-9 years ago, you know, give or take. And what was your main inspiration for getting into drag?
I don't think I ever wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it was just because my partner at the time was doing it, and I just wanted to be a part of the story.
You just fell into it.
Yeah, I literally fell into it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no desire to ever do drag. I don't ever see a circumstance where I ever would have done drag. It wasn't appealing to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't a girl who watched Drag Race.
Yeah.
Like, which is how most queers involved with it. And like
myself included. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, even with as popular as Drag Race is now, I don't even know if I ever would have fallen into liking drag.
Just on your own.
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely did too. I think the more you're introduced to it, the more it becomes kind of normalized for sure. Mm-hmm. But I get what you're saying by that. I was definitely put off by it too.
Yeah, because I think even if I dated a guy who was like, oh my God, I want to paint you, I probably would have like, no.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a really unique relationship with your mom when it comes to drag. It's probably the most unique relationship I've ever seen with a mother and like drag queen entertainer, to where she kind of sends you like care packages of drag, and she's kind of been your drag mother per se. Talk a little bit about what that's been like.
Yeah, so my mom, when I finally came out as being a drag artist, which I said in our coming out series that we did last year, so you guys should listen to that. My mom really likes the aspect of performance, and so she sends me care packages to like help me, and I wear like 90% of what she sends me because she sends me the right size, and she goes thrift store shopping when I have no time to do that, and I'll like literally make these things out of the costume she buys me and the fabric she buys me, and I wear her jewelry, and she always buys me wigs and stuff like that, and it's just really cool. Like it's cool to have somebody so supportive, and like she hasn't been to one of my shows in such a long time, but it's just, I don't know, it's been a really great experience getting to share that with my mom.
Yeah, for sure. So as you mentioned before, you started drag with your ex. We were in a group. Tell us a little bit about what being in all the different iterations of drag girl groups you've been in has been like.
I think I always felt really stifled in girl groups, but like I always really enjoyed them too. They made drag more fun. Yeah. Like, 'cause drag is not really fun. So, like, yeah. After a while, it loses that fun appeal. It becomes like a job that's entertaining. Yeah. And then where you entertain. And so being in a girl group helps it to where you're hanging out with your friends. as you're getting ready for a number. And I think so. Starting out in a girl group was cool because it was helping us learn and get our names out there, and it helped us with bookings. And then as the iterations have changed and we did things. And actually, I think some of the highlights of my drag career were probably from the girl groups that we've been in.
Yeah.
Like performing in Crested Butte was obviously like
so much fun.
An insane, cool experience.
And that was with Natalie.
When we were little tricks at the time. And then we started off as the CDs, which is kind of where my website thing came from and my business all came from. And we performed at every Pride as that group pretty much in Grand Junction, which was cool. We had the top selling show with the Haunted Night of Drag, which was amazing. And then right now we're kind of like in a drag group / troupe called Vanity Came, which is interesting because like we haven't done really anything as that group except for a couple of numbers. Actually, no, because we did the
Porch Fest,
which actually is another insane, cool experience.
Yeah.
I feel like, so I guess long story short, I do feel stifled in girl groups, but I also feel like girl groups give me the opportunity to be on bigger stages so people can see my art.
Yeah.
Which I love people seeing my art in different stages and in different ways.
Yeah, definitely. So you were on a little show called Camp Wanakiki.
Yes.
Describe what being on a bigger platform like that has done for your drag, and what are some of like the negative experiences that you've had because of being on a platform for everyone to kind of view?
So the positives that came from that is it helped me get a bigger booking fee and helped me do meet and greets.
Yeah.
The negatives that came from that are people make fun of me about it because it's not Drag Race, it's not Dragula. So the negatives did come in that way. And then people also like, when you're on one of those platforms and whatever, to use the logo of the show that they were on, they should be paying you to use it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they should be giving you that money. But when people are like, put the Camp Wanakiki logo on like an event poster or something like that because I'm in the show, it's actually really detrimental because I'm like, if you're not paying me enough money to use the logo, you shouldn't be using the logo.
Yeah.
Right? And and then also in Portland, the running joke is always like, I came in 4th place, which probably is true. But at the same time, like, there was one winner and all runner-ups, and I was runner-up to the crown of that title, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, I made it that far in that series.
Yeah.
And Camp Wanakiki this last season, like, in the last episode that I did on the podcast, they did crown a friend of mine.
Yeah, Geneva.
Geneva Convention, which is amazing. And she super deserved it, of course. And, like, her drag is just insane across the board. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And what I think I learned the most from that experience is the positives and negatives is that like I can deal with a lot of online bullying. I am strong and can come out on top when it comes to how I interact with the universe around me. So that's what I learned. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get a little bit risque. I want you to tell me about your best and worst dressing room experiences in all your time performing as a queen.
So my worst one is super easy.
Okay.
It's a stupid shot thing from gosh dang, what's in Grand Junction? What was that bar called? That closed down that we performed at.
Are you talking about Sabrosa?
Yeah, Sabrosa. That stupid shot in the basement incident.
Yeah, the
like,
shooters.
The shooters.
The shooters. Oh, that was a disaster.
Incident, which led to my first public cancellation before canceling was a thing. And that's why it was the worst, is because there were so many negative ramifications because of that. That's where, like, I really hung out with Odette. I think even Pheromone was supposed to be in that show.
She was, yeah.
It's just a whole...
She canceled because she did realize that Grand Junction wasn't near Denver.
Yeah, she was... Oh, God, she was so stupid about that. Literally, that was probably the worst because of just all the negative things that happened with that, and people were being nasty, and that basement was awful, and, like, the cattiness, and just...
Yeah.
God, it was such a horrible, horrible experience.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, like, so that was kind of outside the dressing room. I don't think I've had, like, the worst of times in a dressing room. Like, where somebody, like, stole my stuff or was, like, super awful to me.
Shady.
Yeah, I mean, I had one recently, like a couple months ago. I actually texted Donna about it.
Yeah.
Like, there were a bunch of girls who don't love me in the city. We were all in the same show together,
Yeah.
and they were being so mean girly to me, like, the entire time.
I hate that.
And it was so awful. I was like, oh, come on, ladies. Like, we don't have to be that gross.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily try to say hi to everybody in the dressing room. I'm like Trixie Mattel in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm in the dressing room to do my business. I do like I kind of like to kiki, but like not like, I don't go hard.
Yeah.
Right. So that was my worst. My best dressing room experiences, I don't,
Crested Butte was pretty good.
Oh, that was good. Well, okay, so that was good, but that was not great for me. So back in the day, so it's funny because my relationship with Natalie is really great, which is funny. I talk to her more than Donna actually does, but Donna and Natalie were closer than I was with her. And so Natalie would always make sure that Donna and her always looked great and everything was great about them. And I was always like an afterthought to Natalie.
Yeah.
So, and in every situation, I was always that to Natalie.
The mismatching one.
The mismatching. Oh, you can wear this, Coco. It's a different color. It's a different color. It just looks stupid. And Natalie was always very much about othering me in that group, which is fine. And so I actually remember feeling a little out of place in that dressing room and whatever, because you and Natalie were just like giggling and having a great time, and I felt like kind of off base. And then when Freya was in the mix, then I would always feel super other. And as much as I love Freya and Natalie now, because like that was before me and Natalie got like as close as we are now. Like so that was not the best dressing room experience for me.
Okay.
I think
I was definitely in my own head and just excited that they had almonds for us to eat and like free, like there was like gift baskets and stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is like an actual cabaret theater kind of backstage.
I think the best dressing room experiences are always coming from a dressing room that's like really big and it's like super nice, and there hasn't really been a super lot of those, but it's just, for me, a good dressing room experience is just that the personalities gel.
Yeah.
Like if the personalities gel, like we can all kiki and laugh a little bit and just have a good time, like, and where you actually even stay after the show a little bit because you like talking.
Didn't you say that you had a kind of fun one with like Pandora Box and Miss Kasha Davis?
That would probably be a really good one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
She said, it was Pandora. She said, I wanted Tito's and Red Bull, is what she said. And so they brought her Cheetos and Red Bull because they didn't hear her say Tito's. And she's like, did they really just bring me Cheetos? And she's like, I'm going to get the Valentina edit. I'm going to be like, I want red M&Ms and like all this stuff. She was freaking out about
Cheetos.
it. And then I love Mrs. Kasha Davis. She was so cool because she was just done. She was just done, and she just already out of drag, just in her slippers, and she wanted to go home, mama. She was not about that journey.
Yeah.
And actually, most of the time when I'm with a drag race girl in the basement, it's actually pretty fun. Shangela, when we were in the basement with Shangela during that one show, where everybody was so mad at us that we got to be booked in that show with them from the college.
Gosh.
That was a fun dressing room.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a great time. And when Jiggly was here, when we booked her, and we were in the basement with her, she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. We've been in dressing rooms with a lot of fun people.
Yeah. Those are I know that sounds terrible, like, oh, just because it's Drag Race girls. But even when Loris was here, like, when Loris was in town, like, when we were in dressing room, Loris is fun in a dressing room, too. Until they lose a costume or whatever she lost.
It was a wig.
A wig, and she just flipped out.
We found it eventually.
We found it.
But yes, there was a meltdown.
Yes, and so that's kind of been my fun dressing room experiences. Oh, actually, anytime we were in Austin. Yeah, anytime we were in Austin for the drag festival, those dressing rooms were always fun because it's new people.
Yeah.
And, like Cheyenne O'Shea
from all over.
Her name is.
Yeah.
Like, getting to hang out with her. Like,
she was a ton of fun.
Yeah. And Erica Clash.
Yeah.
Just people like that. Geneva Convention.
Yep.
Just really cool people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you asked me this question, so I only feel it's appropriate to ask you this question. If you had any kind of advice for any newcomers to the art of drag in all of your wisdom in the last almost decade of doing drag, what would you tell newcomers?
Don't do it. It's a trap. Kind of, a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
what would I tell a new person? I think, especially because there's been some new people who've popped up on the scene whose names I do not know.
Yeah.
I think just really recognizing that you're gonna suck for a very long time. And I know that we have the tools nowadays to where people don't have to suck as long, but like you're gonna suck and it's really expensive and it's hard and there's not a lot of return. You have to really like doing drag. You have to really love doing drag to do it at the level that anyone would do it for longer than a year. Like it's a really hard thing. It's hard on your body. So I think what I would give advice is just make sure to take care of yourself mentally and physically. Drag has the ability to beat you down. Drag artists are some of the most terrible people in the world. The way that we treat each other as colleagues is horrific, and it is across the world. Like, drag artists are very mean to each other, and like, even if you're the sweetest girl in the world, people will still have something to say. You be the meanest girl in the world, and people have things to say. And so you have to really learn to build a thick skin, and you have to learn to take care of yourself, sleep when you can, try not to drink too much, don't get caught in the drug scene too heavily. Try not to just basically you want to be able to look at yourself in the morning after you've been doing drag and not hate what you see. And oftentimes there was a lot of moments when I've been in my ups and downs with drag where I hated what I saw, even if I loved what happened the night before. The fights I've gotten into in drag too emotionally were just so scarring, and most drag artists have gotten into a terrible fight at one point or another,
for sure,
physically or just like a screaming match. And remember, all of your business doesn't belong on the internet.
Yeah.
All of your business doesn't belong on the internet.
Oh my gosh, so true.
It just it doesn't. Like if you feel negatively about a person, you don't need to put it online. Like a lot of people just don't really recognize that. And so what I would say is take care of yourself, and then when you're hurt, probably see a therapist versus using the internet to attack and destroy what you've built for yourself.
For real. I think that's solid advice, honestly, because anytime I see that, it really, like, I don't know, just bums me out. Like, I don't think that people need to be, like, going on, like, doing lives to, like, really, like, tear people down, and I definitely agree. Why do you think it is that drag queens do treat each other so terribly? I know that people have said in the past that gay men can be very like emotionally stunted because of our trauma. So do you think that's the reason why, or why is it that a lot of the times we go for the jugular as entertainers?
People, I say this on the microphone all the time. People don't do drag because they've got their shit together. People do drag because they're usually processing trauma in artistry. Like we're literally artists that are putting a lot of ourselves into something, and then we become violent creatures, and then also it gets exacerbated because of drinking. And so we think that we're making a great decision. I literally even sent a text yesterday. I wasn't even in drag, to my boss at Local Lounge that wasn't the best text, honestly. It's because I've been drinking and I'm a queer person and I do drag, and they could have been phrased so much better. Even in my 35 years of life, it was not a nice text to send.
Yeah.
I was trying to be firm, but it came out being awful, and I feel really bad about it. And I think it's just because we're emotionally stunted, like Donna said, but it's also because you don't do drag because you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You have some shit you're working through.
Yes.
God. No, it's so damn true though. And I guess I never really, and that does kind of seem like, it could seem to some like we're putting like a negative spin on like doing drag, or like drag is like a lifestyle. And the thing is, we've lived it and loved it too. So yeah, of course it's been a way for us to like process some shit, because we have had somewhat difficult upbringings as queer people, honestly. Like, yeah, and there's no shame in that. Yeah.
And honestly, I do still love drag. If I lost some weight, I would love it a lot more. Drag being overweight is just horrible. Oh my God, it's horrible. It is uncomfortable and it is unfun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was super deep, and I appreciate you saying that and like recognizing that there is more to us like vain creatures of beauty. I have to ask you the question that we ask everyone as a guest on our podcast. If you were in a bar fight, which 3 queens in the city would you want on your side, And why?
And why?
Yeah.
Definitely Shaniqua Vault. There's
Yeah.
hands down Shaniqua Vault. She's absolutely insane. Let's see, who do I think would be like real scrappy? And actually, the one I think I would choose, especially because of after today's conversation, I would choose Babylon. Honestly,
Yeah.
Babylon Brooks.
These hands.
She's oh,
Babylon, the hands, Brooks.
she said
These
to me,
hands.
she said, if that girl keeps getting crazy with me, I'm gonna walk the dog on her ass. But I've seen Babylon get mad, and it's because, and I mean in the true like get mad scenarios where a guy was like being rude to her in a bar, and she'll bring him outside and say something else to me. I swear to God, you better say something else to me.
She's got that stinger.
Oh,
that
she
scorpion
got
stinger.
that Texan in her, and it's just it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Let's see, who do I think would be the scrap? So I've had a lot of time to think about this, and Babylon is the newest edition, and I was gonna choose Atlas, but then I don't think I would choose Atlas anymore because Atlas is like really mellowing out. And like, so I just don't know if she would like be a good contender if like the bar fight just was like going heavy and hard. I think it would have to be Anjay Tifa. Absolutely, Anjay Tifa.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh God, she is a nightmare. She is a horrible person, and but the funny thing is, her and I are good, but like she's also that girl that you just don't want to be on her bad side. She does not play. She just doesn't play. And if you get in her face or try to make her feel a way about something, she won't have it.
Damn.
She won't have it.
Well, I think that's a pretty fair lineup.
Yeah. I'd be good. I wouldn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'd be sitting there sipping a cocktail.
And if there's one last thing that you want the audience to know about you, what is it?
I think what's happening to me in this community is I have a reputation now, and it is very similar to the one I had in Junction, not completely, but the one thing I always like let people in Junction to know is like I am always open to having a conversation if somebody disagrees with how I feel. I was recently canceled online, and not a one reached out to me. Like nobody wanted to talk it out. Like they wanted to just be terrible.
Yeah.
And like I'd see posts about me on the internet that were like awful, or they would say the producers of that show, meaning me and Touche, the producers of that show, and nobody actually ever reached out to me.
Yeah.
To talk about all that stuff. And like, so I just kept getting tagged in post after, not tagged, I kept getting sent screenshots of post after post after post. And I was really disappointed in this city because I thought like as much as woke as we pretend to be, like people should shoot a message out.
Yeah.
And, so we can have a conversation. I'm all about conflict resolution. I want dialogue and education. It's what my platform is. Right?
Yeah.
So like, let's do it. And
so you felt people were rushing to react rather than actually want to come to any kind of resolve with their issues.
I still never got a message.
Yeah.
From anybody.
Were these people too that you later would see out in public and they would act like everything was cool, or was the relationship a little bit more strained afterwards?
There's only been one relationship that's actually got strained in public, but the rest of them were fine.
Okay.
Like everybody was just fine in public.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like nothing really happened.
Yeah. Like, it was kind of weird.
Maybe that's the whole reason why people talk about this whole like cancel culture thing with Portland, is because people so quickly like rush to react to things on social media rather than like just having like human conversations with one another where there's like a proper exchange for both parties. Yeah, because
there are ways, and it's a Cheetah Girls quote. There are ways, and then there are ways. Like, and because it's talking about there is a right way to do something. If you really want somebody to change their behavior, or you really want somebody to learn from their mistakes, cancel culture is 9 times out of 10 not going to be the way it works. And a lot of people in Portland keep trying to say accountability culture, or holding someone accountable, or consequences to negative actions. None of that stuff is true. None of it is true. Accountability culture doesn't exist. It doesn't. Consequences to negative actions in the sense of a public forum do not exist. In the way, like, yeah, you're punishing a person, but it's not going to do the thing. It's not going to get you the results that you want. If you want to just hurt a person, then all of those things are true.
Yeah.
All of those things are fine.
Yeah.
If you just want somebody to suffer. But if you really want somebody to do better for the generations that come after, and then what happens online publicly where they're being accountable, like they're being held accountable, then that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, hold space for education, and then that's how you would actually see it. Because the reality is, none of that stuff has been helpful.
Yeah.
It just hasn't.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to end it, because I think we learned a lot about being more just human, and also being willing to have like conversations rather than rushing to judgment.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you, and I appreciate doing this with you, and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Absolutely.
oftentimes too for taking on a lot of pressure from people, because I know that's not easy.
Yeah, it gets old fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. That's why I disappeared from the face of the earth.
Dun, dun,
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in once again to a Gem of a Secret podcast. Yes. Coco, this was lovely. Is there anything else you want to say to our listeners?
I love each and every single one of you.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been another episode of A Gem of a Secret podcast. The hosts of A Gem of a Secret podcast are Donatella My Secrets and Coco Gem Holiday. You may follow Donatella My Secrets at Donatella_My Secrets on Instagram. You may follow Coco Gem Holiday at Coco Gem Holiday on Instagram. Original music by Touche Douche and Party Favors. You can follow them respectively at The Touche Douche and at Party Favors Music on Instagram. For more exclusive content, visit www.agemofasecretpodcast.com. That is AJEM of a secret podcast.com. Be sure to tune in every week on Thursday for a new episode wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, email us at agemofasecretpod@gmail.com. Please don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.